Robert Jenrick, after his tube train stunt, went on to Good Morning Britain to face the Home Secretary's husband, Ed Balls, and Susanna Reid. And this is what happened.
Did you report to the police that you'd been told someone was carrying a knife on the tube?
I haven't done. But
why not?
Well, I didn't feel the need to do that.
Why not?
Well, it's not about me, the video, is it? It's ultimately about raising...
It's absolutely not about you in this case.
It's about raising an issue.
Somebody told you that they were carrying a knife on the London Underground and you didn't report it to the police. Well,
there was one person who we met who we did take to the British Transport Police, but the guy who said that to me, he just walked off straight ahead, and so...
I saw the video, I hadn't listened to it. And I've just listened. I travel on the tube. My kids travel on the tube. And someone's just told you, a former minister, a shadow minister, someone who's concerned about policing and obeying the law, you're worried about fare dodging. I'm worried about people carrying knives, and you didn't report it to the police.
Well, look, I've put out the video there, obviously, if the police wanted to investigate it. But I didn't want this to be about me. This is about raising a point about crime and trying to push the authorities to take action.
Which do you think is more serious? Do you think it's fare dodging, or do you think it's carrying knives?
Obviously, if you were to threaten someone with a knife, that's much more serious than fare dodging, but they're both important issues.
So, Rod, what would you give Susanna Reid there out of 10 for confected indignation? Look, I mean, I don't know if you've watched the video. Well, you must have done because you wrote about it. So he's going down the escalator. There's this guy in a hoodie like this. You can't see even a scintilla of his face. So Robert Jenrick, imagine him going, is that the police? A man on the escalator whose face you can't see just told me he's got a knife. How many officers are you going to put on this case? I mean, where does she get off with that? You know what I think this is? I think that she's in a rage, like so many of the members of the chattering classes, was that he did a rather eye-catching stunt that got a lot of publicity, and he's a Tory. I think that's what that is, because who's sitting next to her? Ed Balls.
Well, yes, you're probably right. I wrote a song for her once. I did. Well,
OK. Go on.
we were good friends, and I wrote a song for her once, and she was a very nice person in many ways, but you know, I mean, the lack of awareness in that. The story is about how we have got to a point whereby people now break the law with impunity and nobody gives a monkeys.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Now, my argument with Robert Jenrick is that the problem devolves from the authorities. The authorities don't care about shoplifting. They don't care about fare dodging. Sadiq Khan, an imbecile out of his box on cannabis, allegedly, though probably not actually, you know, it is shocking the degree to which our institutions have given up the job that they have to do, the difficult job, and this, of course, to the police as well, which is of stopping people doing things which hurt other people.
Exactly.
And you know,
and you wrote about this in your Sunday Times column brilliantly as always, but pointing out that although a lot of people misinterpreted what Genrich was trying to do, they said, "Oh, he's trying to highlight these fare dodgers, people to get furious about fare dodgers." Well, I use the tube all the time, and it is kind of annoying when these people tailgate you and just barge through the barriers, don't pay their fares. But what is much more annoying than that is what you pointed out, is the fact that they're just allowed to do it. The authorities, the people who run the tube system, TfL, couldn't give a damn. They just stand there and watch. And that's the same for all these other petty crimes, shoplifting, smoking dope on the streets. Nobody gets done for this stuff. So that's what annoys me about fare bunkers. Not so much them themselves, but the fact that Sadiq Khan's Transport for London staff couldn't give a damn.
And nobody else could. This is the problem. No one else in authority can give a damn. So because of that, the public thinks, well, if they don't give a damn, why should I give a damn? You know, that's why we don't have have a go Genrichs anymore, because nobody gives a damn, and they know that even if the fair dodger is caught, he will not get fined. He will not. There will be no impunity upon this man at all. She used to wear very nice diaphanous blouses, by the way.
Diaphanous blouses.
Yeah. That's when she was on Women's Hour.
Is that where you knew her from? Women's Hour.
Yeah, BBC.
Of course.
Years
Do you know,
ago.
Women's Hour, right? The BBC always go, Women's Hour. I always say, you know, I don't think it's very good. I don't think it's been good for years. But it is such a deceiving programme that it has never been an hour. It's not an hour. It's 40 minutes, I do believe, and never has been an hour. Why would they call it Woman's Hour?
Well, when they switched it from the afternoon to just after the Today programme, everyone said it should be renamed the Morning Cervix, which I thought was quite good. But I also know now that if I ever go out on a Saturday in the car and I turn on the radio, and because I can't get Times Radio in the Pennines up here, you can always get the BBC. Right. Just this doom and misery descends upon me and now it's time for Weekend's Woman's Hour, and they immediately start talking about chlamydia, abortions, and leave me alone.
Usually in India, not very often here.
Usually in India, yeah.
But listen, I just got to say, the Woman's Hour is an excellent programme, and Rod and I are just having a bit of fun here. My producer, when you said, listen to me, when you said we got the cervix out, my producer said, "You got to push back on that." How do I push back on that?
Producers.
Yeah, she's now saying push back on the cervix, so we're getting into bizarre territory here. For any of you that were offended by Rod's comments there, I don't care. Very, very good to talk to you, mate, as always.